Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree red truck mesh wreath. I was totally inspired by one of you all. We're going to make this on the 18-inch wreath form, and we're going to do that to accommodate this red truck sign from the Dollar Tree. If you haven't found this and you found the wood one, you can paint it. You may be able to fit that on a smaller wreath. They also have the one that's sort of made out of glitter. We're going to use some mesh. We're going to end up using about 4.5 rolls, and I'll show you in a minute. We're also going to use 1 pack of the garland twist ties. We're going to add a little bit of live green to this. It's not really live, but you know what I'm saying. We're going to use some of the 2.5-inch truck ribbon with the wire, some of the 2 little small ribbons. We're going to use the black and red check as well as the small truck. We'll need some pipe cleaners, and you're also going to need your glue gun. If you haven't found, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you haven't found this sign, you obviously can do whatever sign you want in the middle. This mesh wreath was totally 100% inspired by Roxy Malloy, and I know this is funny, but it's Hippie Panda Girl on Instagram. They both shared wreaths that they did. Roxy used the truck in the middle, and the Crafty Panda Girl actually made like the black and red buffalo check, but she added black mesh to it, and I got some at Christmas at Halloween, and I was like, yes, save some of this, get some for this wreath. If you guys can't find the black mesh, then obviously they do sell it like all the colors, all the years at other craft stores. But this just really, to me, enhanced the look of the wreath as well. So what we're doing here is we're taking 2 full-size pipe cleaners, and we're just putting a ton of hot glue. So you guys know I learned this technique from Amber at this Southern Girl Can of how to put a sign on your wreath. I know lots of people do it, but really she's the one who taught me how to do it, and we've been doing it more and more ever since. So you just want to put a bunch of hot glue down, and then I put the pipe cleaner down on it, kind of bend it in the middle so it's even, and then put a bunch of hot glue on top, and then set it aside to set up. We don't need it again till the end. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a wire cutter, and I'm cutting all of these in half. These are just the Dollar Tree's garland ties that look like piece of pine tree. Now this part is, I know, 100% inspired, but really this part is what I came up with on my own. I thought how cute it would look to enhance the tree on the truck if we put some pine twist ties in there. So now I'm just cutting the wreath, and I know it goes super fast, but basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting each one. There you go. I pulled out the mesh to measure it by. Each one about 6 inches. Some are 5.5, some are 6.5, and that's not the 911 priority in the actual doing of this wreath, because some you'll wrap tighter and some you'll wrap looser. So using that roll of wreath of mesh there to measure by, we're also cutting the 2.5-inch or the 2-inch ribbon. I think it's 2.5-inch. With the wire edges as well as the skinny ribbon. And this is what we're coordinating. We're going to use a black mesh, a red mesh, a piece of pine, one of the truck ribbon, as well as one of the check ribbon. And what I did was I cut the check ribbon on an angle like a dog ear, and then I dovetailed the ends of the truck ribbon. Okay, so now we're going to tightly roll a piece of red and stick it between our first 2 fingers. Then we're going to tightly roll a piece of black and do the same thing. Then we're going to take a piece of pine, a piece of the wide ribbon, a piece of the skinny ribbon. We're going to take one of our pipe cleaners. Well, these are pipe cleaners. I like to work with them cut in thirds, but I will tell you that they don't leave you enough room, a lot of room. So if you're a person who doesn't pull their bundles tight, you might want to stick to a half piece. But with the third piece, I don't have to trim them in the back at the end. That's why I do that. And for this, I only had 13 pieces of black mesh left over from Halloween, or that's what I was able to cut, I should say. So I'm going to make 13 bundles like this, exactly like this, and that's why it's going super fast, because you don't have to sit there and watch me do all of them. But this is definitely a movie, put a movie in front of the TV, sit in front of the TV and put a movie on kind of project. Put on your favorite Christmas movie. I watched Moana, but you can watch what you want. And then you're just going to repeat this now for the second set of, well, all right, I know what I want to tell you first before I do that. All together, we're going to use about 42 bundles of mesh altogether. Now that is just full enough for me. Some people like it to be super full. You can make more. Some people like it to be just sparing like I do, and it's just fine. If you wanted to add a bow, you can actually make it make the same amount and squish them together, and you can add a bow, that kind of thing. So I had this black ribbon left over from Halloween, and it's the sheer black with the little black sequins on it. And honestly, I wish I would have had 2 rolls left over because this would have been so cute. But what I decided to do for this bundle is originally I was going to do a red and a white and a black sheer, but then I ended up just doing 2 reds, a black sheer ribbon, and then the skinny little truck ribbon. This truck ribbon's from the Dollar Tree, the black mesh ribbon's from the Dollar Tree. Really, all these items are from the Dollar Tree. I haven't used anything in this project that wasn't except the hot glue gun. So I'm repeating the same thing with the pipe cleaners. We're going to cut thirds. And first I'm showing you here how it looks with a black and white, but then a red and white, excuse me. But I think I'm just going to stick with 2 reds. So I'd make 2 red bundles, put the black ribbon down, and then the truck ribbon on top, and then use the pipe cleaner, fold it in half, and that's where you go ahead and cinch them together. And I like the way that this looks because it still incorporates the black and the red, just in a different, and white with a little touch of white, just in a different order, which I like, by the way. So I ended up having just 7 pieces of this left over. So altogether, the black and red combination came out to be 20 bundles. But I had 24 pieces of the pine. So what I went ahead next, you'll see, is what I decided to do was to make a bundle that is a little bit different. Originally I was thinking, again, red and white, but we're going to do instead is we're going to make them red and red. So now it's really funny that a lot of these things, you guys like to copy my pattern or whatever, or the method, but I kind of like wing it. So originally I was thinking I did want this to be a bundle of red, a bundle of white, a piece of pine, and then no ribbon. And then I was like, you know what? We have this pine, we have this leftover pieces of ribbon. Let's go ahead and just make the last 4 pieces of pine into 4 little, actually it's just 3 pieces of pine, into 3 little bundles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of red twice, a pine, another piece of the wide truck ribbon, and another piece of the small plaid ribbon. And I'm just going to create these bundles. They're very similar to the first bundles that we made, but instead of being black and red mesh, they're just red and red mesh. And I only have enough pine to do just 3 of them. So I'm basically turning the ribboned mesh into 24 bundles of ribboned mesh. Now there's different combinations of colors and different combinations of ribbons, but altogether there's 24. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a roll of white with red stripes, and I'm going to take a roll of red, and I'm going to go ahead and use it all to make bundles of red and white. I'm going to start off with 2 whites and a red, and then eventually I'm going to switch to 2 reds and a white. I ended up using, because altogether there's 42, so I think there was like 18 of these. 2, 4, 6, 8. No, there's just 12. There's just 12. What am I miscalculating? There is 6. Oh, because there's only 36. There's not 42. I'm sorry. That's where my math just fell apart. Each section, the big wreath has 6 sections, and each section has 7. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, each section has 6. I'm right. Okay. Sorry. This big 18-inch wreath form has 6 sections, and each section has 6 bundles. That's what I was trying to say. So we have 24 with pine. We have 24 with pine with different ribbon combinations and different meth combinations. And then we have 12 with just red and white with no ribbon on them at all. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the wreath over, turn the bundles over, and we're going to start tying them on the back. Now, if you notice, I only tied them to the 2 inside wires. I tied one to the upper, one to the lower, and I continued that back and forth pattern with each bundle. Each section has one black and red with ribbons, one just red and white, one with the black ribbon, one with the red and white, and 2 with the original first bundle. So altogether what it looks like is 3 of the original bundle, the black and red, 1 black and white, 1 with the black ribbon, 1 black and white, and then 3. And even though each section isn't even, the fact that you can repeat that pattern throughout the whole wreath is what makes it look even. Hopefully that was not too difficult, that I explained that too difficultly. Hopefully you guys got that. Okay. And now when I have it all done and arranged and evenly distributed, this is where we realize if we have any holes, if we have to fluff it. This is where we take the time to do that. Fluffing it by basically straightening out the ribbons and stuff like that is definitely something you want to try to just take a moment to do. And now we'll add the truck. What I do is I place it on the front. I turn the whole ensemble upside down. And then I'm taking this truck because it's so wide, and I'm wiring it to the actual 2 middle wires that go through. We're going to create a little hanger with a piece of pipe cleaner, and that's it. It's just absolutely love it. I love the little pieces of pine just sticking out. You could take the time and fluff them up and make them more prominent if you want to. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in making this truck wreath. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video if you select all notifications. And as always, you guys take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.